there were many beginnings in my life. 74, I had gone to Delhi. And I had met Raghu. Raghu Rai was the chief photographer of Statesman at the point of Raghu. And then Parliament Street, I was walking down. And suddenly I heard someone calling me, Ovi. Borun Haldar. He was the newscaster, 9 o'clock news. Hey, you're in Delhi. What are you doing in Delhi? I said, I had come from some work. Come. So we walked down to his house, had lunch. And then he said, come with me. I said, where to? PVK. Let's go and meet him, PVK. I thought he was the old PVK. But I didn't care. He was then the first Director General of Doordarshan. I went to PVK's house, PVK's office, and PVK said, television is coming to Kolkata. I said, I've seen television here, absolute rubbish. They look down and read news, and you show some films. I'm not interested in television. Yeah, that is why we need you. You see, what had happened was, when PVK was in Kolkata, I had received the first prize from Peter Reinstroff. Peter Reinstroff had come, world famous photographer, documentation photographer. He had come and we had done a workshop with him. And the result of the workshop, I was declared the winner. And the same time, with my father's 8mm camera, I had done a film which had won the Kokusai Bunkashi Kokai Prize from Japan. Okay. He said, we need you. You have to join. I said, I'm not interested. I never applied to for a television job. Manikda, I knew Manikda, Shottu Vitrai very well. He told me that, educational television is something that's coming and you should try and go into education television. He in fact wrote a letter to CEDO, which is in Scotland, Centre of Educational Television. And I didn't have the money, so I remember I walked down to the Education Minister's office in Delhi and asked for an appointment. Obviously, there was no appointment. Someone else didn't turn up, so I merged into his room. Today, I would have been arrested. Anyway, I was young. So he wrote my application, PVK wrote my application on a note sheet, Sarkari note sheet, and I signed. It forced me to sign. That's how I joined Doordarshan. And later on, I worked in Doordarshan for 23 odd years. Produced many firsts, so to say. But here I'll tell you how life is a learning process. We were to do live telecast of football. We had not done live telecast of football ever. I didn't even know how to cut. So we sat down, we said what to do. Those were not the days where you could just, switch on to a sports channel or get a DVD. Those were not the days, not even a VHS. I said, let me ask Manikda. So I rang up Manikda, we have to do live telecast of football. I want to know how to go about it. I don't know, but give me some time, let me think. So I come back, he called about 10:15 in the night, he called. He said, middle, central line, place your camera, 2-3 cameras there. And then never cut when the ball is in the air. Till today, that is the grammar that is followed in football. Throughout the world. Shotrutra had never produced any football. He is the one who told me this is how you should. That's the great master. After that, I produced cricket, I produced badminton, I produced tennis, I produced football, God knows how many, 5,000, 6,000 live OPs. And then when I joined in 1996, I joined ESPN as the head of productions. Then, of course, I was the first in India to telecast Kabaddi. Kabaddi from Devangare, National Kabaddi Championship. I was the producer of the opening ceremony of the Asian Games, 1982 Asian. This was on 19th of November, Mrs. Gandhi's birthday. First live telecast to 33 countries, first live telecast in color from India. 18th morning, there was some agitation going on in Doordarshan. 3 of our association leaders were arrested. So Bivas, who was also with us, Bivas Chakravarti, he said, we have to court arrest. So not us, 800 people, including staff artists of All India Radio, staff artists of Doordarshan, everyone courted arrest. We will not work. Okay? The following day is live. By 12 noon, everyone was sitting under the transmitter in Delhi. And some station director, he was reading news. Some station director was doing the announcements job. That kind was going on. Total, complete chaos. So, the police came. And they came and said, Sabka chalna hai. They came in trucks. And Vijay Kumar said, truck mein kaun jayega? Hum log truck mein nahi jayega. Deluxe bus chahiye. We will not go in trucks. So the trucks went, in 1 hour buses came. We were all packed into the buses, taken to Parliament's police station. And I remember the Parliament's police station, Amita Malik was waiting for us. She had a column. And because the staff artists were with us, we had the tabla and the flute and the harmonium and everything, and we were merrily singing, We Shall Overcome. 5 or 5:30 in the evening, we were taken to Tihar Jail and put inside Tihar Jail. Booked under ESMA, Essential Services Maintenance Act, which meant a minimum of 3 months in jail. Chalo, we were in jail. Next day is the opening ceremony. Now, 2 o'clock in the morning, suddenly the bell rang. Dang, 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 dang. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. Buses were waiting and we were all... What had happened was that a standby crew was flown in to Delhi. And the crew came in and said, where are your people? They are in jail. They're in jail. Then we will also not do it. And then we were released. And at that point, this is what self-confidence does. This is what, something called mantra shakti, as they say. Something happens to you. At that point, I don't usually use abusive words. That day, around 3 or 3:30 in the morning, when I reached Doordarshan from jail, the Chief Shama was waiting. He said, Gari hai, go and take a bath and come back immediately. So I used to stay at Cousin Road, came back. I swore that day and said, you wanted to get a standby crew do my job? I'll show what I am. I'll tell you, that day something came to me. When I even see that production even today, there's not a single late or early cut in the whole program. How did it happen? Don't ask me. I don't know. That challenge you have to take for the live program, that risk you have to take, that confidence you have to have, and immediately, I don't know, Horst Seifert. Horst Seifert is a father figure of live television. 17th or the 16th November, he came in to see the OB van. We had placed 2 OB vans together and it was a contraption. And he said, what is this? This will never work. No, I was young, so I told Horst, this is something you will not understand, Horst. No, I shouldn't have. I told him that. He said, what is it that I will not understand? I said, this is BT, Bangla technology, Indian technology. You will not understand. And when I finished When I faded out from the opening ceremony, at that point, he selected me for the Los Angeles Olympics opening ceremony. That was the point. But I was not given permission to do the opening ceremony of Los Angeles Olympics because the invitation came by name. They wanted ABHIJIT DASGUPTA. So I can do it. So that's life. I'll tell you another interesting incident of live telecasts. We were doing this live from Washington Press Center. And I had asked Rajiv Mehrotra, Rajiv, you do the opening for 2 minutes. You just say that the Prime Minister is here to meet the American press, and in a short while from now, we'll take you live. That's all. 2 minutes. So I was doing it, and Rajiv Mehrotra began. Within 30 seconds, Manishankar came running. Don't go, don't go, don't go. Continue here, don't go. Khalistanis have come inside. They are going to create problem. Don't go. Don't show the Prime Minister now. I was already live going on in India. What do I do? So, you keep on writing cheats and passing it to Rajiv Mehrotra. I got other colleague journalists to write something. 20 minutes Rajiv had to go impromptu, speak, not knowing what. You will just casually look at the note and speak. Casually look at the note and speak. After 20 minutes, Manishankar came and said, okay, all go. These things happen in life. I was doing live from the White House, and the American cameraman, our commands and American commands are not similar, So I was sitting on the grass lawn, and next to me was CBS. Another guy. They were also doing live. I was doing to India, and I told the American camera, you follow the motorcade, and as comes to the arch, you steady your camera, I'll tell you steady, and then I'll cut to the other camera, the president receiving Prime Minister. Then he was panning. I said, okay, cameraman, steady there, steady. He was still panning. So next guy asked him to park it like a car. I said, park it, and he stopped. So these things are great in anecdotes. Eiffel Tower, we had another example. We had rehearsed everything. Prime Minister would, from the Eiffel Tower top, inaugural festival of India and all that. India was suddenly, the commentary was in French. Our commentators, I couldn't get. Pictures are there, but the commentary is French. Where's my commentary? What happened to my commentators? So I told the French engineer, he said, I can't do anything now. It's live, I cannot take any part. Decisions are taken on the spot. Mr. Shiv Sharma, who was Director General of Doordarshan, he said, Kya ho gaya? I said, sir, you won't change the patch. I think he has patched us to the French commentary. Shiv Sharma tells him, he says no. He goes, yanks everything out. So even the French commentary is out from the French. He jumps and he repatches, everything is okay. No, these are things I've seen. In Washington, I'll tell you now. I'm sorry, I'm continuing. Shiv Sharma tells me, Washington dekha? Washington dekha. Where is Washington, sir? What do you mean by Washington? Sir, I only see the backside of the Prime Minister wherever he goes. Oh, that's tomorrow is your day. Take off. After the gaadi hai, you take your car. Oh. Next day, he does my job. He does the whole coverage. For the whole day, I'm going around. In the evening, he says, come to the studio, you will do the live part of it, commentary and all. I'll even edit it for you. So I reached the studio around 7 o'clock in the evening. And typical Mr. Sharma, he will always give you a challenge. Like Sirifort also gave me a challenge. So, I remember, he says, I've done it. But today, I want DD1 to telecast in English and DD2 to telecast in Hindi. Live, simultaneously. Okay, see you. Good night. How do I do Hindi now? You see, there's only one audio track, one video on audio track. So I told Delhi, I called up Delhi on the 4-wire, saying, look, today I will not be live on 4-wire. The Hindi will be on the telephone line. You patch it through to the audio video. So we did go live. DD2 Hindi, DD1 English, we went live. So, I mean, live has its own fun. Live has its own charm, has its own thrill, own challenges, own speeds. 1986, we had the Reliance World Cup. Before the World Cup, the producers would get selected. So there was this guy who had come from BBC to select the Indian producers who would be producing the World Cup. It's for global telecast to every cricket telecasting country, playing country. So there was this 5-day India versus Pakistan test match in Ahmedabad. And I think there were 22 producers, out of which the core team would be selected. The Vijay Kumar and I, we had an understanding that in those were days, 1986, we didn't have mobile phones, and even getting a trunk line to home was very difficult. So we had an understanding. Look, when you are not on the panel, you go and sit with the commentators, and if I am on the panel, I'll show you sitting with the commentators. And when you are there, you do the same thing, so that my family gets to know that I'm okay. So this was kind of a signal. So I was there sitting at the commentator when the production assistant ran up and said, he wants you to take over. So I came down and said, just take over, and use the Xeno. Xeno had come that morning. It's a digital effect generator. Today it's very easy. You page turn and flip and do all kinds of things. That had just come. It had new sets of commands. Those were analog days, and you have to program it. So I told him that, look, I don't want to use this for any replay now. Lunchtime we'll try it out, and then post lunch we will. No, I'll program it. So he programmed it himself. And then there was Imran Khan bowling to Sunil Gavaskar. Sunil Gavaskar was at 60 or 62. So, Imran Khan bowls, and there's a loud appeal for LB, and the hand goes up. Okay. Now you have to show replay. You said, take it through the Xeno. Okay. So I took it through the Xeno. And lo and behold, what did you see? Left-handed Imran bowling to left-handed Gavaskar. Because 1 turn, 2 turn, it had given 3 turns. Okay? I said, my God, and everyone came running. What is this? Left-handed Imran bowling to left-handed Gavaskar going on air. What is happening? But believe me, because of the visual effects, none noticed it. And this man never came back to the Obi-Wan. So, cricket has many interesting incidents. I'll tell you 2 anecdotes. One was in Kolkata, one was in Nagpur, another was in Kanpur. And all 3 occasions, I had Dr. Narottam Puri and Kishore Bhimani as a commentator. And in Nagpur and Kolkata, in Kanpur and Kolkata, I had Lala Amarnath as the expert commentator. Now, Lala ji had this habit of suddenly losing his tongue. In Kolkata, both his sons were playing. Surendra and Mahendra Amarnath. And something had happened. and it was just lunch. We were breaking for lunch. So I said, turn for the expert commentator to sum up. He said, Kya bolo? And he used a foul word and it went on air. Typical Punjabi foul word went on air. Miradi came running. What is this? You should cut his mic. Lala ji, I faced another one. This one is Kanpur. And this is terrible. I had told both Narattam Puri and Kishore Bhimani that Kishore, don't let him predict anything. Now, those days we didn't have commentary boxes. We had an enclosed area where people couldn't go in, and our commentators would sit there and talk. It was tea time, just before tea. And this guy, right in front of Lalaji, Lalaji kya hone wala hai? Lalaji kya hone wala hai? Lalaji kya hone wala hai? And suddenly Lala opens his mouth and says, I will tell it to your mother tonight. And it goes on air. And you as a producer, you are responsible for it. Same thing has happened during Reliance World Cup. India playing New Zealand at Nagpur. This is the game where Chetan Chauhan did the hat-trick. Some Australian batsman had got out. And here, Tiger Pataudi was a expert commentator. Tiger had this habit of falling asleep. So after one, I told Kishore that, okay, Kishore, sum up, and it's time for Tiger to speak. So I pressed the button, said, Tiger, your turn to speak. Nothing went on here. I said, Tiger, your turn to speak now. Nothing goes on here. So I push the button again. Tiger, wake up! The first thing that goes on air is, I am wide awake. And it goes on air. No, these are incidents that happen. And if you look back and if you cannot forget that immediately, you will keep on making mistakes. For a life, if you make a mistake, you repeat that mistake twice or thrice and make it look like a style. Otherwise, a mistake remains a mistake. Beijing, I had gone as a producer with Vijay Kumar. And the commentary team, English and Hindi, Jasdev Singh would do the Hindi commentary, and I think it was Anupam Gulati who was supposed to do the English commentary. On the day of the opening ceremony, we would leave for the stadium around 8 o'clock in the morning to set up and things like that. I got a call at 7:30 from Mr. Shashikant Kapoor, who was then the DG. ABHIJIT, Anupam is sick. He can't do the commentary. He will do the English commentary. I said, sir, I'm here as a producer, not as a commentator. I said, he told me that, yes, Vijay will do the production, you do the commentary. Jazat is there, he'll give you his notes, you do the commentary. Now, Jasdev Singh, he's a legend, he would take note in Hindi and which you cannot read. In any case, I can't read Hindi. So I told Jasdev, what do I do? He says, what you do is, instead of 10 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll do 15 minutes, you do 5 minutes. And when the natural sound is there, I'll tell you. 1 minute, I'll tell you, and then continue. I would have lost my nerve that day. Wearing a headphone and you're doing a live commentary which the whole country is listening to, completely unprepared. I had not gone there as a commentator and doing it in English. This was a challenge for me. 1984, 25 years of Doordarshan. 25 years of Doordarshan with Prime Minister Mrs. Gandhi attending at City Fort Auditorium. You have to have the best. So you had Bismillah Khan, Zubin Mehta, New York Philharmonic Orchestra, you name it. Russian troop coming in, all kinds of things. two things happened there. For the opening day, my boss, who was in charge of the production then, Mr. Garg, he said, I've got the presenter and she will come, anchor. She will come and you discuss with her and then we go live. Fine. The anchor happened to be Shabana Azmi. So Shabana Azmi comes into CD Fort Auditorium. Evening is the function. I'm talking about 11 o'clock in the morning. He says, Hanji, script dijiye. Script means I just give some notes. This is happening, this is happening. This is when you will announce. And this is whatever happens. Is it cover recording? I said, recording nahi hai, live hai. She says, live? Means I have to perform live in front of Mrs. Gandhi? No, that's right. There's no recording, it's live. Naji, I'm going out. On her own, she goes back to the airport, flies back to Delhi, flies back to Bombay. And now I'm in a soup. Where do I get an anchor? So a cameraman, Rajiv Rai, his wife was an announcer of Delhi Doordarshan, Josna. I said, Josna, can you do it? Kal Dada, no problem nahi. And she did a marvelous show. So I have seen the best of people shying in front of live cameras. Recording something is different. Live, going live is completely different. I remember I was doing a show from, again, Andhra Sports Complex with Amitabh Bachchan. And he said, I told him, look, I'm going to use top cameras also, so you cannot have any markings on the floor. And it's a shiny floor. He said, no markings on the floor? I said, no markings on the floor. Then I have to have rehearsal. Believe me, the rehearsal would begin at 11 o'clock in the night and continue till 4 o'clock in the morning. And with every crew member, he asked, is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? When you reach that position, you really have to slog it out. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut. I've been a panel producer for television for many years. And you know, panel producers have the highest insurance done because of heart attacks they have on the panel throughout the world. I think I've done more live telecasts than many. Between Vijay and I, we have done more than 10,000, not one or two. I'll tell you the story of one particular telecast which I was doing. I had left Doordarshan. One evening I got a call from Sony. Kunal Dasgupta was then the CEO. Would you come over to Bombay? So I went to Mumbai. He said that Lata Mangeshkar will do her first live in her life. Lata in concert live. I want you to produce it. Live. It will be live from Andhra Sports Complex. So I had planned. I had eight cameras, 2 jeeps, track, trolley, you name it. I was ready for the following day. No rehearsals, nothing of the sort, not even knowing what song she will sing. So I had gone back to my hotel, I was relaxing, I was reading a book, when the phone rang. Kunal called. I'm sending my car, come over. So I went over to Bal Thackeray's office. There the negotiations were going on. She had not signed any contract even the night before. There were 2 lawyers, they would draft something, go inside and tear up. It was going on and on and on. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, things got signed, and then Hridaynath Mangeshkar came out and said, so you will be directing the show. Gee. Just a word of caution. If Lata Di sees a camera, she will stop singing. I said, Caesar, cameras will stop singing? Yes. You have to hide your cameras. Hide my cameras? I'm doing a live show. There's a jeep, there's a track, there's a crane, you name it. So I called my technical director. I said, come over to Andheri Sports Complex. So we met at 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, remove cranes, the jeep from behind, no track trolley. And I want specially made, black overalls made, so that with a small, only the camera lens would be visible, all static cameras, no camera to move. So that was done. I had no idea. There were about 450 musicians, accompanists. I had no idea what she would sing. So I went, what is the run order? I said, Lata ji ka malum hai. I need to know because I am producing it. No, we cannot give it to you. So I had no idea. So I went to the conductor. I said, at least tell me which is the string, wind and percussion. This is the string, this is the wind and percussion. At least this much I know. So we produced live. This was Lata in concert live, the first, which till today is the highest revenue earned program of India television.